Immersed robot.
So this is the Resident Evil 2 Remake VR mod, currently in active development by Praydog. It hasn't been officially released yet, but I did want to give this a try since we do seem to be relying ever more on fantastic mods like this one to get deeper content in VR, especially on the PC VR side at the moment. And this one uses full VR motion controller support in a similar way to other standout mods recently, along the lines of Outer Wilds and Valheim and those kinds of experiences. It has full body implementation, and I believe this game can be played in first and third person, although I've only tried first person so far. So the footage I'm showing here is some that I actually recorded a few weeks ago, and this mod seems to be getting regular updates all the time, so things are improving constantly. But what is here right now is actually very good overall. The performance is not great, as you can see in this footage, which does stutter in places, although I really didn't tweak too many of the in-game graphical options other than those recommended when installing the mod. But I am recording this footage on a separate PC to the one I'm playing on, and I am using an RTX 3080 paired with a Ryzen 5 5600X CPU. My full system specs are in the description as always. So overall performance can be a problem in many flat games which make the transition to VR through mods, and this one doesn't seem to be any different, and that's to be expected in many ways. The games obviously weren't optimised for VR when they were designed, and so it can take a little bit of work to get them running smoothly in VR. But as I said, I didn't really tweak this too much other than going through some of the standard settings that they recommend, but things might improve with that later on anyway, so we'll just have to wait and see with regards to that. But the one-to-one motion controller to hand presence in this game works really well and feels like a made-for-VR game in some aspects of that. At this point though, there does remain a little bit of jankiness in some of the interactions, but as mentioned, all of these things are being worked on all the time. And in fact, since recording this footage, Praydog has added other interactive features such as full weapon collision detection, so you can actually melee attack zombies in the newer release of the mod, which wasn't something I was able to do in this version. But also other things to mention in this mod which are fantastic at the moment are just general things such as world scale, image quality and sound, and just the overall feel of the game are at a pretty high level even in this early form. But I would say that if you're susceptible to motion sickness, then some sections in this game can be a little bit jarring at this point. When you have the automated first person cutscene sections which happen at certain points in this game, then that can be the jarring sections really, as it doesn't switch to a 2D display in front of you as we see in something like the official Resident Evil 4 port for the Quest. This actually remains in VR, this keeps you in VR, and that can actually be fantastic if you don't feel the negative effects of it. But again, if you are susceptible to motion sickness, then those are the sections which might make you feel a little bit odd. And I believe these things are also being worked on all the time as well. So again, I just want to reiterate really, this is a very early version of the mod, so all of these things might improve with time. So overall this shows a lot of promise, and increasingly these kinds of flat games being modded to VR are forming some of the most compelling content on PC VR at the moment, aside from things like the simulation based titles such as flight sims and races. We don't get too many of the deeper VR games at the moment, and it's a shame. Like when we look back to 2016 and just the excitement around PC VR around that time that built up over a few years really, and we got bigger and bigger titles, and then it seemed to be diverted a little bit over to the Quest platform, so we don't get as many of those deeper titles on the PC platform. We do get quite a lot of Quest ports, and that's not a bad thing, but it's also a little bit disappointed that we don't get some of these AAA huge games for PC VR which can handle that kind of content. So I want to continue to cover this type of experience on the channel, since these deeper long form titles work so well in VR, and if these mods are where we have to look to get this kind of thing going forward, then I'll definitely be following it closely. But I just wanted to highlight this early version of the mod very quickly and give you a few of my thoughts. And if you're interested in these types of games, then I'll put a link in the description for the Flat Screen to VR Mod Discord community, where you can get the ongoing information on many of these games that are being worked on at the moment by the sort of talented community of modders that are working on a variety of games really. And check out that Discord if you are interested in playing some of these mods. But with that, thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.